The first verse of the first chapter of the book of Proverbs says this: the Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. And verse 6 says, for understanding a proverb or a parable, the words of the wise and their riddles. So what is a proverb? A proverb is a short, pithy saying that expresses a general truth, principle, or nugget of wisdom drawn from human experience. Proverbs are short, so they're easy to remember, usually just two parallel lines. Proverbs are figurative. They use images, comparisons, or wordplay to make the truth more vivid. And Proverbs are practical. They offer guidance for everyday life. What would this person be like to live with? Who should I hire for a job? How do I deal with difficult people? What about this guy who talks too much? What do I do with a teenager who isn't motivated? How do I know when my child is bullied at school? What do I do? Or when I come into unexpected money? Answering these kind of questions about real life is the space that Proverbs occupies. Proverbs is not a self-help book, a book about life hacks. Before I started recording this video, I did a search on Amazon for self-help books. I got over 100,000 matches. None of them work. If they did, there wouldn't be so many of them. You can't help yourself because yourself is your whole problem. Proverbs goes way beyond self-help. It offers a key to life. Proverbs ask questions that apply to everything you do and every decision you make. One question: is it wisdom or is it folly? This is a unified approach to life. It's a worldview. It applies to the most simple situations as well as the most complicated. Is it wise or is it foolish? We don't really have a category for Proverbs today in our modern world because Proverbs are not law. They're not absolute promises or commands. And so often you have to pair them with another proverb to get the full meaning. So they're observations about how life really works. One of the main messages of the book of Proverbs is that your thinking is way too shallow. You need to go deep. You need to think hard. For example, Proverbs 22:6 famously says, train a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. Oh, really? Everyone knows it doesn't necessarily happen that way. So the usual way that Christians try to explain that is to simply say, well, it's a principle, it's not a promise. That's true, but it's also way too simplistic. It's shallow thinking. You have to go much deeper to get the full meaning. Here's another one. Proverbs 26, verse 5 says, do not answer a fool according to his folly. And then the very next verse says, answer a fool according to his folly. So don't answer a fool, do answer a fool. Which is it? And the usual way to explain that one is to say that sometimes you don't answer a fool, but sometimes you do. It just depends. And again, that's true. But if that's all you have to say about it, then you're just scratching the surface and understanding what a brilliant pearl of wisdom this is. You have to keep looking, go deeper. So Proverbs is trying to tell you that you don't think enough about anything. Wisdom is hard earned. You have to want it badly enough to study and do some hard thinking about what these Proverbs are actually saying. And so, as Tim and Kathy Keller say in their book on Proverbs, the point of a Proverbs is to get rightly related to reality through hard thinking and sustained reflection. A proverb is like hard candy. If you just bite down on it, you don't get much out of it. Instead, you have to meditate on it until you get the sweetness of insight. I know we'd rather have a book that just gives us specific rules for every situation, but that's not the way life works. Instead, God is calling us to be wise people, people who know how to discern what to do. And most importantly, our wisdom will guide us as we grow in the knowledge of Jesus Christ, who is wisdom himself, the ultimate wisdom. And so, in what area of life do you need to grow in wisdom the most? Friendship? Marriage? Parenting? Singleness? Money and work? Do you want less anxiety? Less anger? To know when to talk and when to keep silent? What words to use? Whatever it is, it's right there in Proverbs. If you want wisdom for these things badly enough. It's my job in these videos to help you find it and think it through. The next video will be about how Proverbs is living a moral, ethical life. But it goes way beyond just being ethical. Anyone can have morals, but not everyone is wise. That's our next video. Until then, go now in grace and peace.